Obviously, the Sixers have had a tumultuous offseason and await Ben Simmons to return to the court when he's mentally ready. Kevin, we know you rep all things Philly, but your Eagles, your Sixers, they just can't get it right. So could you give a state of address to the city of Philly, please?
You know, Molly, I knew this was coming. First and foremost, listen, are our Eagles in the best shape? No, not right now. I don't like to bring turmoil to things that are already bad. So I'm not going to really discuss the Eagles. What I am going to talk about is the 76ers, and I'm going to take the time to shine a positive light on something that people don't want to, okay? What we now are in is a moment where Ben Simmons, okay, he's having some trouble with the franchise, and there's been some back and forth. But what I'm now seeing, I'm seeing the team within itself stand up and step up and be mature about the situation and play basketball because that's their job. And then playing basketball, they're gelling. They're gelling and they're winning basketball games, which is important. And that shows me that we're a playoff team regardless. I think Ben Simmons will eventually get the right advice, will do the right thing, and come back to basketball when he's mentally stable and mentally right. And in the meantime, the team has a job to do. And that team is doing that job. They're going to gel. They're going to mesh well. And when Ben does come back, he'll fit in the way that he should, and we'll get back to playing game at a high level. Ultimately, we're a real basketball team in the NBA, and we are contenders. And this season, you'll see that. That's what it's about. So Philadelphia, do not allow this outside negativity to come in and make a mess of what we have. Because we have true stars on our team. We have great leaders. And right now, there's a little bump in the road. Speed bumps come all the time. It's your job to drive over it and get your steering back together. And we will. And shouts out to you, Ben. I know whatever you're going through is tough for you. Everybody's not in your situation. So me being on the outside, I don't judge you. I still support you. And when you come back, you will be back and you will be great and be better. That's what a real fan does. You stand with them, you stand beside them. You don't kick them how some people do. Mr. Dirty Boots, you kick my city every chance you get. I won't allow it to happen here. Not while I'm here, Stephen A. Stand up, Philadelphia. Do what we do best in love, because we're the city of brotherly love. Congratulations again, Will Packer. You got an amphitheater out here. It's a good deal. All right, go ahead, Stephen A.
That might be the most ridiculous take I've ever heard you come out your mouth.
Why is that?
First of all, a couple of things. Number one, just not to bring negativity to you, but y'all just lost to my New York Knicks the other day. I just thought it was
We were talking about my win. We just came off a win. Okay, but we just came off a win. But we were talking about the winner we just had.
You lost to the Knicks.
You want to go two games back?
No, let me say, yes, I do.
You don't go two games back.
That's number one. Number two, I just want to ask a question. Just a simple question. Will Packer, help me out here.
Okay, come on.
We have a guy in Ben Simmons, and Kevin Hart did not answer this question. He didn't bring it up, but I'm not going to let him off the hook with this.
Don't.
We have a guy in Ben Simmons. He did not say, I have an emotional issue and I don't want to play basketball. Mm-hmm. He said, I got an emotional issue about playing for and in Philadelphia.
That's true.
That's what he said.
He did.
As a Philadelphia native, how does it make you feel that a guy is claiming, guess what, I'm not well because I got to play for your city and your team?
I'll play for other cities.
I'll play for other cities, just not your city and your team. How does that make you feel?
I'll tell you exactly how it makes me feel. As a guy that came up in Philadelphia, I understand how tough my city can be. We're not
You handled it?
We're not the easiest group of people to deal with. Some people are better than others. I ran into my own problems with Philadelphia early in my career, not being good enough, not being funny, etc. Okay, I was capable of overcoming it. It doesn't mean that everybody else can deal with adversity the same. With that being said, how old has Ben Simmons?
25.
All right, at 25 years old, did anybody give him a handbook on how you're supposed to act when this type of success and stardom comes your way? Did anybody give you,
You need a handbook to just go out there and play basketball?
It's not
he's
just,
an elite player?
It's obviously not just about the basketball. It's obviously stuff on and off the court.
And Philly.
You can't say what it is because
He said it.
I'm saying you can't say why he feels the way he feels. We can't say because we don't know. We're not in those sneakers. We're not in the locker room. We're not at the house after. We're not on the calls.
You know,
so I say that to say,
though, there are mental pressures that today's athletes are under
Absolutely.
that are very different than they were ever in our history, right? There's so much scrutiny. There's such a spotlight on them. Fans have access to them in ways that they never had before. And so he is under an extreme amount of pressure that's very different.
Can I respond to that? You and I both attended at HBCU. This brother's from the streets of Philadelphia.
He didn't attend this house,
I know, but he's from the streets of Philadelphia.
Community College of Philadelphia.
Right.
2
okay,
weeks.
That's fine. The one thing that we would say.
Excuse me, Hollywood Hotline. It's not about you this
Okay.
moment. It's about Will Packer because we've got
That's
the
why I love
point
me some
guard
Molly.
himself, Chris.
We told him to go home.
The Sixers have to move this guy.
He does not want to be there.
I don't care about that man. We really focus on just winning. He does whatever he wants. Our job is not to babysit somebody.
We're grown men here. Put our big boy pants on and we get on the floor and do what we do.
It's no fun, but you don't give up the fight that you can get it right. I want Ben to be playing. That's his job.
The Ben Simmons saga continues. On Friday, Ben met with the team before shoot-around, and later that night, Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris said this about their teammate.
It was the first time any of us, heard him. I thought it was good for the group. We are better with him. I wouldn't mind, playing with him. I know my teammates also wouldn't. At the end of the day, we're just trying to win.
I think we just have to really understand, like, human first. And, if he's going through something at a time, we have to respect that. And we have to be there for him as a team, organization, fans, all the way down the line. So I think at this time, he needs more support than neglect.
We now welcome in senior writer Ramona Shelburne. Ramona, you've been all over this story. So today, where do Ben Simmons and the 76ers stand?
Well, there was a lot of positive talk over the weekend, as you heard there, and it's continued into this week. And to show that and to acknowledge that the Sixers have stopped finding Ben Simmons. That was a big part of this, as you know, the first couple of weeks here, where he was not showing up for games. He wasn't there when he did not report to camp, but they've stopped finding him. Some of this, Malika, is because there's a standard provision in player contracts that says if you're dealing with a mental health issue, which Ben Simmons has reported to the team that he is, and he wants to work on himself mentally and physically this week. They've taken that in good faith and said, okay, we're taking that you are working on yourself mentally and physically, and you're going to we've offered to make these resources available to you. And so right now, everybody's in a good place, and the fines are not accumulating. And that was an issue for Ben Simmons, as you know, in the first couple of weeks of the standoff.
Interesting. So partly because of the CBA you're reporting, and partly because of a good faith, some showing good faith, the Sixers are no longer fining Ben Simmons. Okay, so where do they go from here? What can we expect this week?
He has been showing up at the facility ever since he reported a couple Mondays ago, 2 weeks ago, and he's going to continue showing up. He's being treated for that upper back stiffness by the team trainers, but he's also been working out with his trainer, Chris Johnson, off to the side, away from the facility, staying in really good shape. But he's, I talked to a source close to him. They said he's continuing to work on himself mentally and physically this week. Where this leads, we'll see, right? We have a long time between now and a resolution, but the Sixers are hopeful that they've made all the resources they have available to him. They're not going to force him to see any doctor. This will be in collaboration with all the medical professionals, but also with his team. And everybody's in a good, positive place right now to where if this progresses and he starts to be feeling more mentally and physically ready to play, there's a hope that he would resume individual workouts at the facility and then maybe rejoin the team as part of practice.
Fascinating. So no more fines.
But there's no timetable on when he would return.
Okay, so we've learned today that there's no more fines from the team. They're going to show that good faith for right now and hope to give Ben some space to get to where he needs to physically and mentally to return, but there's still no timeline.
Yeah, and Malika, I think everyone you talk to on both sides of this is saying this Friday was a really big moment for them because Ben faced his teammates. They got to talk to him. He got to talk to them. He seemed like this was a big step for him, at least. Sometimes, this had been going on for months. He hadn't seen a lot of those teammates since Game 7.
Yeah.
When he missed all those free throws and at the end of that game and how poorly it ended. He hadn't seen a lot of those people. This got to be a big deal for him all summer long. Finally, you see them, and there was a thawing there, and I think a real positive thing, to the point where Joel Embiid is saying to the Philly crowd at the home opener, this is our brother Ben Simmons. We'll be there, and we need him when he gets back.
We need to support him. LeBron and the Lakers, they were looking for their first win of the season, hosting John Morant and the Grizzlies. So let's pull up in the third quarter. Memphis is up 1. Morant drives through the defenders. Look at this. Unbelievable.